So this video is going to be a little different. As I have created my previous videos, I've come across things that I couldn't really fit into a specific video, whether it be because it's so utterly insignificant that it wouldn't matter, or that I couldn't transition it easily between a couple of different glitches. Whenever this would happen, I would just write it down in a notepad and forget about it. This notepad got pretty large, so I've decided to make this video where we will go through some of the random stuff that I've found over the course of creating my last 6 videos. There will be no organization, so treat this like some sort of top 10 or something. This won't be the only time I do this, as more stuff like this will pop up as I make more videos, so I hope you guys enjoy this format. Halo 2 had a pretty solid multiplayer, especially considering the only other time they tried multiplayer in Halo CE, every match is either spawn camp or get spawn camped, with few exceptions. However, some of that jank still definitely persists in Halo 2's multiplayer. For example, in SWAT, you're able to kill yourself in not 1 but 3 ways, with one being possible in every game mode, asterisk. The first way is by looking down, walking forward, and shooting. You have a chance to shoot your own hitbox, and while it's possible to survive, you can very quickly die. The second way is much harder to pull off, but if you shoot twice, then switch weapons, you can headshot yourself. I only managed to do it once, and I somehow didn't die, so I assume I missed or something. The third is probably the easiest, but it requires a sniper rifle and a scorpion. Headlong is a good map for this. And if you get a sniper, walk up to the front of the scorpion, shoot right here, and the bullet will deflect off of the front of the scorpion, off of the barrel, and into your head. Why you would waste the sniper on this I don't know, but it's pretty funny. The next glitch is something that I encountered while just casually playing the mission The Ark. The only footage I have is almost Sasquatch UFO evidence level of formidable, mostly because the theater mode crashing, thanks Halo 3. After you defeat the scarab on the Ark, if you enter the door to the next area fast enough, the Arbiter can be shut out and fall out of the map, as it is deloaded. He will not respawn again until you get all the way to the cutscene that shows the galaxy. I tried to get it again, but the Arbiter gets teleported in, and he also exits the Pelican first, so basically to get this, you have to get the Arbiter separated from the Marines that are required to start the animation to enter the building, while also timing his separation such that he is inside the doorframe as it closes, which I have no clue how that is triggered, and then hope that he doesn't teleport inside of the building. The fact that I did this while not even knowing what I was doing is such an insane fluke, and it's such a shame that this is the only clip I have of it. Have you ever been playing Halo 4's Requiem? I know, me neither, despite this being one of the better Halo 4 levels. One thing that's always stuck with me was the brutal destruction of these Warthogs. These innocent beings are being forced to blow up by players every day. Let's save these poor guys, using acrophobia because I don't want to grind this launch using a fuel wire gun and some grenades. Once you reach this area, there is a trigger here that blows the Warthogs up and gives you a checkpoint. You can very easily fly over it using acrophobia and by going here and going around it. They do float and will fall once you get near them. Unfortunately, they still cannot be driven, and if you walk back into the trigger, they will still blow up. On Crow's Nest, there's a pretty funny way to get infinite ammo, and it is super easy to perform. Start at Rally Point Bravo and pick up every weapon and pile them up wherever you want. Then, after they're all empty, walk here and do a lap of this room. When you go back, all the weapons will be reset, but your weapon pile will persist. There is a limit, but you will have so many weapons that it probably won't matter. You can bring these into the next couple hallways, and it can be very useful on Lasso due to low ammo counts. Also doing this breaks collision on certain spots, leading to the ability to drop weapons through the floor every now and again. Some more examples of these games being surprisingly easy to break is that the fact that there are specific instances of vehicle AI breaking completely. Like these phantoms floating on the Covenant, or on the same level from Rally Point Bravo, this pelican does not move. These are just slightly wacky, but on Crow's Nest you can softlock yourself super easily in a similar manner. If you play until you get to the hangar, you can walk under the phantoms that drop enemies off, and if you melee right here, you will kill the brute pilot, causing the phantom to just fall. You can flip them like normal vehicles, but this unfortunately leads to the level not being able to be completed, except one time, but I didn't record it, so I have no idea how I did it. Thanks to the Shilt Show for showing this off first. I'd recommend this channel if you want to see more weird Halo glitches. You know what? Let's just get nitpicky. Here's something small. On Crow's Nest, you might have noticed this forklift that is proven evidence as to why they only taught Spartan 3s to drive forklifts. Now this forklift has something really strange about it. It floats. It is so unbelievably slight, and to see it for yourself, all you have to do is shoot it or walk up to it. Here is how high it floats compared to a grenade next to it. This grenade is against the ground, I can't move it any lower. Something similar happens on the Storm. After you enter the Scarab fight area, if you turn right you'll see these inconspicuous props. Fly up here with acrophobia until you get teleported down, and then fly up there again. Walking up this thing lets you get out of bounds, and you can then go around the barrier into the other side of the grate. The notable things here are this cement thing that will only fall if you get next to it, and this pile of stuff that will move slightly. Dawn has probably the most egregious example, in these tires. Getting to these was a slight issue since it requires some blind out-of-bounds navigation. You'll want acrophobia, just trust me. To get here you must first play the level until you get to the ending sequence where you are supposed to run inside. Run towards and hit the objective marker, but do not go inside. Then navigate towards this pile of debris, and if you fly up here you must navigate this weird conglomerate of barriers and hitboxes to reach this inside area. Then crouch here and fall out of the map here. Our goal is to reach the door we would have gone through if we played the level normally, but a thing to watch out for is that the entire area in between has an instant death barrier, so you will have to go all the way around the other side of the map. Once you reach it, if you hover here, the game will think you're inside when you're still out of bounds, so you can trigger the airlock to let you load the next areas. Then navigate above this room, skipping a bunch of triggers, and if you enter the room through this open door, you will meet the floating tires. You can load the different areas to see stuff, and the level is still beatable, since the ending cutscene only requires reaching it. Let's go back to Crow's Nest for a bit. If you've ever been up to this area where you're getting the Marines out of the barracks, you'd know about the friendly brute up here. There's actually another brute that is very similar on Savo Highway. In this area with the choppers just before the plasma barrier, this brute up here is friendly, as long as you kill every enemy without having him jump off the tower that he spawns on. While he is up here, he is friendly. If you remember this friendly elite, there is actually another very similar in Halo 2's Great Journey. These banshees at the end of the level can be hijacked low enough to the ground that the brutes survive and they spawn without weapons. He can follow you, and you can lead him pretty far away. A pretty funny thing to try with a friend is to create a giant Spartan. I tried this with my friend Disco, and it took about 2 hours, mostly because we had to find out that it requires Project Cartographer the hard way. Shout out to this random guy for joining, I'm sorry that we couldn't play. You need a few things, the map, burial mounds, and a wraith. Then you get one person in the wraith and the other person crouches right here and walks into this flaming thing. Then the wraith player will boost into the back of the other player, and if you did it right, you'll clip into it and die. Your ragdoll will then be massive. It only lasts for like 20 seconds, but it's funny nonetheless. Halo Reach has a funny way to become weaponless, and all you need is a multiplayer game with one weapon set to anything and the other set to none, a mounted turret, and armor lock. Start by picking up the turret and breaking it off. Then walk backward and melee and activate armor lock at the same time. If done right, you will drop both the turret and the weapon. This leads to some funny animation glitches, especially while crouching. It also breaks passenger seats on Warthogs. Finally, we have emotes in Halo. In my last video, I didn't really talk too much about time travel in Halo 3 ODST, mostly because I planned for that video to be 7 to 8 minutes long, and that plan clearly changed. But I'll do some quick coverage of one of my favorite time travel glitches in ODST. The way that this works is due to how Mombasa Streets loads the different sections of the level. When traveling between 3 different sections, they will partially load and then fully load when you get near. This can be exploited since you can use this to get to really weird places. A great example is this. Start Mombasa Streets at this rally point. On the map you'll see this darkened area. Normally it's blocked off, but we can get inside it using time travel. Go left when you open this door and head to the door with the 10 at the top. Keep going straight and head through this area. At this area, head left and continue to the door with the 6. When you reach the area with the turret grunts, go to the pathway that has this building that has an 8. When you hit the fork here, go left and walk up to the door, but do not enter. Walk past this line to load the next area, and then walk all the way back towards the door you came from. Don't cross the line and walk back to the door you loaded. You have now partially loaded the area needed to reach the dark zone. You know if you did it if this door isn't there. Now walk to this wall and you can open this door and walk into the dark zone. There isn't much here, but this is only one of many glitched areas that you can enter by partial loading. I planned for this video to be a lot more nitpicky, but I guess I never really became annoyingly nitpicky. To amend that, I'm going to go through some of the stuff that I almost cut from this video. Yes, I cut stuff from the cut stuff video. On the part-time completion of the game's achievements, the word "the" in between beat and par is only on Halo 3 and 4's achievements descriptions. I don't know about consoles, but it's like that for Steam. There's an elastic barrier here on Savo Highway for no reason, since you can just get up there. These brutes that are supposed to be dead on Sacred Icon can blink if the gondola is moving. Ivory Tower is called Cyclotron in the files because of its original name. You can shoot firebomb grenades to blow them up without fire. This dead elite on Floodgate just has 2 helmets equipped. Finally, there is a weapon in the files of Halo 2 called Big Needler that seems to have no purpose, but I have no idea. That was pretty fun. This probably won't be the only video I make like this, as I will inevitably come across some other completely useless stuff. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully, I'll see you next time.